Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Here, we embrace true femininity. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update.
I never thought I would get caught cross-dressing. It was my secret pleasure, something I indulged in when no one was around. But one day, my aunt walked in on me, and everything changed. It was a lazy Saturday afternoon and I had the house to myself. My parents were away for the weekend and my brother was out with his friends. I took this opportunity to put on a dress, some makeup, and a wig. Being a guy, I always found men's clothing to be boring and restrictive. But whenever I wore women's clothing, I felt free and confident. I was in the middle of taking some photos of myself in my new outfit when I heard the sound of the front door opening. Panic set in as I scrambled to change back into my regular clothes. But before I could even put on my pants, my aunt walked into my room with a puzzled expression on her face. "What are you doing?" she asked, eyeing my half-dressed state. I froze, not knowing what to say. My mind raced as I tried to come up with an explanation, but nothing seemed convincing enough. My aunt, who I'll call Aunt Linda for the sake of this story, was always the nosy type. She had a habit of barging into my room without knocking, claiming that she had the right to know what was going on in her house. I always found her to be overbearing and controlling, but I never expected her to catch me in the act. I was just trying on some clothes, I stammered, hoping she would buy my lie. But she just shook her head and said, "That's not your clothes. Those are women's clothing." I could feel the heat rising in my face as embarrassment and shame washed over me. I didn't know how to explain my cross-dressing to her, nor did I want to. I just wanted her to leave and forget about what she had just seen. "I like to dress up sometimes," I finally admitted, not able to meet her eyes. There was a moment of silence before Aunt Linda spoke again. "Why?" she asked, her tone curious but also judgmental. I couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth. That I felt more comfortable and confident when I dressed as a woman. That it was a secret pleasure that I couldn't explain. So instead, I just shrugged and said, "I don't know, it's fun." Aunt Linda shook her head and left my room, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I couldn't believe I had been caught. I didn't know what my aunt thought of me now, and I was afraid she would tell my parents. For the next few days, I avoided Aunt Linda and stayed in my room most of the time. I couldn't face her, knowing that she knew my secret. But eventually, curiosity got the better of me and I had to find out what she thought of me. One day, I overheard her talking on the phone with her best friend. She was telling her about what she had seen in my room and how she found it strange and concerning. My heart sank as I realized that she didn't understand and would probably judge me for it. But then, she said something that caught my attention. "I think I can use this to my advantage," she said with a sly tone. My mind went into overdrive, trying to figure out what she could possibly mean. I didn't have to wait long to find out. Later that day, she called me into her room and told me that we needed to have a serious conversation. She sat me down and explained that she wouldn't tell my parents about my cross-dressing. But in exchange, I had to do something for her. "I need a sissy maid," she said, her eyes gleaming with mischief. I was taken aback by her request. I had never done anything like that before, and I was afraid of what it would entail. But she made it clear that if I refused, she would tell my parents everything and embarrass me in front of our entire family. Feeling trapped and desperate to keep my secret, I reluctantly agreed to do it. Aunt Linda gave me a list of tasks that I had to complete, all involving household chores that a traditional sissy maid would do. I had to dress up in a maid's outfit, complete with heels and a wig, and perform these tasks while she watched and supervised. At first, I felt humiliated and struggled to get through the tasks without breaking down. But as time went on, I started to enjoy it. The maid's outfit made me feel powerful and in control, something I didn't experience in my everyday life. And Aunt Linda seemed pleased with my work, often praising me for being a good sissy maid. As the weeks went by, I found myself looking forward to our sessions. I even started to dress up in my maid's outfit when Aunt Linda wasn't around, just because it made me feel good. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't help myself. But then, things took a turn for the worse when my aunt's best friend came over for a visit. I was in the middle of my sissy maid duties when she walked in and caught me in the act. I froze, not knowing how to explain myself to her. To my surprise, she didn't judge me or make fun of me. Instead, she complimented me on my outfit and told Aunt Linda that I made a great sissy maid. From then on, she would often come over and join in on our sissy maid sessions. As strange as it sounds, I started to enjoy my new role. It was like being part of a secret club, one that only a few people knew about. And while I still felt ashamed at times, I couldn't deny that it was also exciting and freeing.